2 more days until game 1 of the NBA Finals, but still plenty to talk about. We're going back to the well with the team we cashed in on yesterday in Major League Baseball. Also, is a Yankees win as easy as it looks tonight? And a best bet even better than yesterday's winner with the Astros team total over. Mark Zinno, you're getting us started in your old stomping grounds with the Yankees. Is it as easy as it looks here tonight against the Minnesota Twins series opener?
I mean, typically, yes, because the Yankees have absolutely owned the Twins for the better part of the last decade, just when it comes to their ability to beat that team. But, you know, you get a favorable matchup again with Luis Gil on the mound for the Yankees. His numbers are eye-popping. They are staggering, 7-1, a 1.99 ERA, a sub-1 whip. He's got 79 Ks and 63 in the third innings. And he may be the most underrated pitcher in all of baseball right now, as I continue to say all these things that will jinx him, obviously giving up 6 runs tonight in 2 2/3. All that said, no, I mean, look, Keel's been absolutely fantastic going up against Bailey Ober, who has not been great. He was not the guy that he was last year, the reliable starter. His ERA on the road this year, 5.52. Opposing hitters are batting over 250 against him. I mean, it just has not been the same guy that we're seeing from Minnesota. And the Yankees had a day off yesterday, so they're back home after their successful, trip out west. And, I mean, look, this is a team right now that is humming on all cylinders. You're getting a favorable price because a named pitcher like Bailey Ober is on the mound here. And look, I don't often wade into this price range, but I like where we are with the Yankees here. Guys, this is going to be a client play for me here. Yankees money line, take it. You get a favorable number at minus 160, and we'll roll with the Yankees at home tonight against the Twins.
He likes the Yankees, and if this sounds familiar, it's because you heard it yesterday. I said this. In addition to having the better starter, the Reds also have a better bullpen than the Rockies. I didn't understand the line move on Monday. I took the Reds at a discounted price, and guess what? They won 13-3, and guess what? I'm taking the better team at what I still think is a nice price here on Tuesday. We are going back to the well with the Reds today. Look, guys, we commented on this yesterday, the run differential column. The respective run differentials of these two teams are miles apart. Let me bring up the run differentials of every last place team in Major League Baseball right now, and you tell me which one stands out. So we obviously have the horrific White Sox, the toilet bowl of Major League Baseball. They're at minus 138. That's the worst run differential in all baseball. Toronto minus 36. Angels minus 54, Marlins minus 82, Rockies minus 89, Reds plus 3. The Cincinnati Reds are a last place team in name only, guys. I think they make a big move in this series. I will not be surprised if they sweep the Rockies. Frankie Montas, are his numbers going to blow you away? Not really. He's only 2-4 in 10 starts with a 4.59 ERA. His numbers are actually worse on the road. But last time out, he turned in a quality start. He's gone 6 innings in back-to-back starts, 3 of his last 5. He's allowed 3 runs or less in 4 of his last 6. I just think Colorado stinks, and Ty Blach is really bad. So give me the Reds. The price is not as discounted as it was yesterday, but I'll still take them at minus 130, Zinno. If you recall, I gave them the Reds out minus 125 on this show. And a lot of times after we give out plays, the line moves, maybe people are listening. And all of a sudden the price gets a little steeper. Well, the line went against me yesterday. And I was like, all right, I'm definitely taking. And I talked about on first pitch, I'll take the Reds at even money. So maybe wait a little bit, guys, after this one. See how the market moves, because you may be able to get the Reds at an even better price if you wait until the afternoon. But the Reds are my half of the double play to go along with Zinno on the Yankees, So let us know who you like tonight in Major League Baseball. You can do so down in the comments section below. We love all these comments we keep seeing here on the Morning Wager. Our best bet, a play Mark and I both like, coming up momentarily. But first, Mark, let the people know what you've got cooking at WagerTalk.com here on Tuesday and beyond.
Guys, still that 5% play in Game 1, NBA best bet that is up on the site right now on a 4-1 run on 5% plays this NBA playoffs alone. So when we come out swinging big, we are right on the money. I expect to be exactly there in Game 1. Once again, you can get that play up on the site, as well as a baseball package of 2 to 3 plays, including the one we just mentioned before with the Yankees. So you'll get all those on the site. Don't forget the 5% play for $35. The baseball package will be up there for $19. You get an all-access pass. You can get it all So make sure you guys go to wt.buzz/MZ and grab everything today.
2-1 Monday for yours truly. 32-17 last 49 in the NBA. White hot 17-5-1 last 23 in soccer. 11-5 last 16 in MLB. Not 10. I tweeted 10-5 last night, Mark. Never tweet late night. You can make mistakes. It's an 11-5 run on the diamond that we're on. My 4% best bet for game one of the NBA Finals. We will be talking about the NBA Finals here just a little bit from a totals perspective. But my 4% is locked and loaded. I'll have Major League Baseball here on Tuesday as well. And guys, do not miss out on this opportunity to finish June with a bang. I feel we need the Mike Breen soundbite here, but it's a great deal we've got going on at WagerTalk.com for only $1.99. You can get the rest of June. That's NBA, NHL, MLB, soccer. The Euros are coming up, Mark. I know you're very excited about that, but you get the rest of the month for as little as $7.11 per day from your favorite handicapper. You can get that with Mark, with myself, both of us, and it's a great deal. So head on over to the deals tab at wagertalk.com right now to start saving and winning. Always a great thing. All right, show best bet time, Mark. Yesterday, the Astros, it took the offense a little while to get going. I was getting a little nervous, but they did fly over their team total eventually. They scored 7 runs. Today, we're hitting the prop market again, but we're not worrying about offense. We're taking a look at a pitcher, specifically George Kirby of the Seattle Mariners. Now, Mr. Kirby on the road this year, Mark, he's 0-4 in 6 starts. The team is 0-6 in those 6 starts. He has a 5.62 ERA. What are we going to do with George Kirby?
We're going to back him here in this spot to get a win at plus money at plus 110. Look, when you see numbers like this that are very skewed to one side, you got to kind of do some digging and understand why, because a lot of times these numbers, especially when it comes to pitchers with a high ERA, are indicative of maybe 1 or 2 bad starts, not necessarily an entire referendum on the pitcher. I mean, yes, George Kirby's numbers on the road aren't good, but if you look at his last 3 road starts against Washington, Baltimore, and Minnesota, he went 6 innings in each of them, allowed 5, 5, and 4 runs. That's not great. Not great at all. But when it tells me, and when you look at the box scores, that it was 6 innings and they gave up 5 runs, a lot of that came in the 6th inning, right? Or in the 5th and 6th inning later on, because guess what? If a guy had given up 5 runs in 3 innings, he's not going to last to 6. 1, because the pitch count typically doesn't allow it, but 2, because managers are very, antsy to leave a guy in there if he's given up 5 runs in the course of 2 or 3 innings. So he's getting to a point where he's pitching deep in games. In fact, this year, George Kirby has only not lasted 5 innings in just 2 of his starts, and that was way back early in April when you're looking at guys who were still sort of, for lack of a better term, on a pitch count as they get loose from spring training. So he had those 3 bad starts on the road. The 2 previous starts on the road that he allowed 1 run in 6 innings at Houston and no runs in 5 innings at Coors Field. He shut him out at Coors Field. So clearly he can pitch. It's not a question of whether he can or can't. He's running into some bad luck. Maybe you'd have to go back, look specifically at the games. But nonetheless, it's a spot here against an Oakland A's team that I think is favorable. You go back and look at Kirby's numbers against the A's. Had 3 good starts against them last year. Had 2 good starts the year before. So he knows this opponent well. Feel confident here that he breaks through. The Mariners get their first win on the road for George Kirby. And they win the game, obviously, but George Kirby lasts at least 5 innings here and gets us a W.
I'll just throw this in. Look who he's facing. He's facing Oakland. Remember about a month or so ago, everyone was like, oh, maybe Oakland's not as bad as we thought they were going to be. And admittedly, everyone thought they were going to be very, very bad. But guess what they've done over the last 27 games, 7-20. 1-loss record. Yeah, they've lost 20 of the last 27 games. And oh, by the way, guys, Seattle has owned Oakland. You go back to the start of last season, 14-2. Head-to-head record. Kirby's responsible for a couple of those 14 wins. So, yeah, George Kirby to get a win. We're hitting the prop market. We know you guys love that. Let us know what you think of that bet down in the comments section below. And if you'd be so kind while you're there, smash that like button. Give us the old thumbs up. We appreciate it. And if you're not subscribed to the WagerTalk YouTube channel, you can do so immediately by clicking what? The subscribe button. That way you don't miss any of our exclusive sports betting content. All right. Still a couple days, Mark. My goodness, this NBA Finals. It feels like it's going to be a month between series, but we are a little over 48 hours away from Game 1. We talked about the side yesterday. Today, we want to talk about the total. It's pretty much painted 214 across the board, 214.5, pardon me. That is up from the opening number, looking at the WagerTalk live odds screen. Your impression of, is this going to be an over series, an under series? Let's just start in the general sense there.
I think it's going to be an over series. And mostly because I don't know that Dallas has a real answer to stop Boston and Boston's shooting offense. I mean, you do the comparative analysis, right? We saw Dallas and Oklahoma City. Oklahoma City is a top 5 team in defensive efficiency. Those totals were in the 2 teens, right? Started out at 218, was down to like 208 by the final game of that series. Minnesota was the best defensive team in the league. All those totals, with the exception of one, were under 210. So I understand this going back up a little bit, but still, Boston, is a really good defensive team. They're also top 5 in defensive efficiency. So the number is going up because this is the best, or the one of the more efficient teams that Boston has faced from the standpoint. You look at Miami and Cleveland; all those totals were no higher than 212 in that series. We get to Indiana, second best offensive team in the league. All the totals sat in the low 220s, sometimes in the mid 220s. So I get why the number is where it is. I just don't think they made it high enough. I think the idea that Dallas is playing a team that is on par with defensively with the last 2 teams that they've faced, and this total only ticks up, maybe let's call it 2 or 3 points to where they are. I just don't think that Dallas is going to have an answer to slow down Boston's offense. And if that's the pace and that's what's going on here, Dallas has enough shooters to keep up. They have enough depth to keep up. And I think this plays a little bit faster than what we're used to seeing, at least from Boston in the last 3 series. So I lean on the over in the first game. I think the number is too short. And I would watch, too, if you want to stay away from the total, let's see what happens in game 1 and see what they post in game 2 to kind of see the variance there.
Yeah, both teams are 5-1 to the over their last 6 games here in the playoffs. You look at when they met in the regular season, and this is always the norm. I feel like we're a broken record when we compare playoffs to regular season. The totals were very high when these teams met in the regular season, 240 and 238.5. Now, as we all know, Dallas is a much different team now than they were for the first half of the season. But these teams did play on March 1st. They were both rested. Dallas had no key absences, okay? And you talk about the Mavs not having an answer for the Celtics defensively. What happened in that March 1st meeting, Zinno? Well, the Celtics went for 138 on 55% shooting. They hit 21 threes. That game sailed over the total. It was a 138-110 final. Oh, by the way, Dallas was 9 for 34 from 3 in that game, and it still soared over. So, imagine if Dallas would hit their threes there. So, I agree. It's going to be interesting. Porzingis is obviously the X factor. A lot of people are talking about him. He'll be back for game 1 by all accounts. Is doubt that should theoretically improve the Celtics' rim protection. But, Luka, Kyrie, can they be making their mid-range jumpers? Is Dallas, are there role players? We saw what Washington did in the Oklahoma City series. Can someone step it up from the outside? That's what Dallas needs, obviously, to compete here. So, yeah, I'm with you. This total does look kind of a hair low, at least the benchmark where odds makers have set it for game 1. Let us know what you think of the total for the NBA Finals. Let us know who you think is going to win this series and in how many games down in the comment section below. Love to hear that. Would you lay the 1.5 on the series with Boston? Can they wrap this series up in 6 games or less? We are wrapping it up right now. That does it for the Morning Wager here on Tuesday. Unless if you have anything else that to share with our fine viewers, Mark, I think we've done it again.
I love you guys. I love you guys. I just, I love the comment section. That's my favorite place to live.
Okay, that is our favorite place to live. For Mark Zinno, I am Bryan Power. Joe Ranieri, thank you on the back end as always. We'll talk to you guys again tomorrow. Let's cash some wagers.